best way to pack that carry-on suitcase. This week I'm talking about the 5 best ways to pack your suitcase for any excursion, vacation, trip, work, play, whatever you want. So stick around and I'm going to go through each one of them to see what's best for you. If it's your first time here, I'm Andrea with a glimpse of good travels in midlife, and I share everything travel related so that you can travel well, travel light, and travel in your own kind of style. Okay, first I want to cover carry-on suitcase size because not all are created the same. When I went shopping for a new carry-on bag, I wanted the largest possible so that I was able to pack as much as possible. That's just me. I'm not a minimalist packer. I should be, but I'm not. The one I have is 22 inches, and that includes the wheels. Carry-on suitcases do range in sizes, but for the most part, on the airlines, you don't want it any more than 22 inches, and that includes the wheels. So this way it will fit into overhead bins. You have your flat side, and then you have where your handle comes out of. So we're going to use those for two very different purposes. Have a favorite airline that you fly, make sure that you get onto their website and see what their overhead bins, what their maximum length is. I do travel internationally as well, so I needed one that was going to be for domestic as well as international. We fly the same airline 99.9% of the time, so it was a little easier for me to follow that rule. If you fly different airlines all the time, just make sure that you check all of them and get a carry-on suitcase that's not going to have to be checked. If you don't check your bags, if you check your bags, pack as big as you want, as long as you stay underweight, because of course if it gets on the scale and weighs too much, you're still paying extra, and nobody wants to do that. The first I call the roll, fold, stuff. Actually, I call it more the roll, stuff, fold method. And this involves obviously rolling, folding, and stuffing into packing cube. But you don't have to use a packing cube, and you can still do the roll and fold method. So say you're going on a 5-day trip. You're going to get all of your shirts together, starting with the long sleeves, the t-shirts, and then the tanks will go on the very top, because then you're going to fold over those sleeves and then fold it in half, and then you're going to roll them all together, just like I'm showing you here, so that you're able to roll it up nice and tight and stuff it into the suitcase. After you roll all your shirts together, and then you're going to roll your pants, your shorts, your skirts, anything that's not delicate material, you're going to roll those and put them all in one side of your suitcase. After you've done that, if you have anything delicate, so I'll use like my linen vests or anything silk, all of that I lay on top flat after I've packed everything, and then close up the suitcase. It just helps so things don't get as wrinkled. You may not really want to iron or steam on vacation. Just lay that across the top when you're all finished. Number 2 would be using packing cubes. I use packing cubes on trips when I want to organize certain things for different activities that we're going to be doing on that trip. So say we have one day we're doing something in the water. The next day we're doing a nice dinner. The next day we're going hiking. I'll pack each of those days, like socks, undergarments, tanks, everything for that day into the cube, so that I can just pull out the cube for each day and I'm ready to go. It's all right there. And it helps me not forget. Everything for that day or that activity goes into the cube. It helps me organize so that I get everything in there and I don't forget anything. Not only clothes, sometimes I'll put our individual. So I'm starting to prepare for our Croatia trip. And with each of those, I don't want to pack a big bottle of sunscreen. I've gotten these. I'll put in the days that we're going to be out in the water. I'll put in, say, one for me, one for B, and they'll go in that packing cube with my swimsuit, my cover up, all of that. Everything for that day is right there in the cube, ready to go. Number 3 are also like packing cubes, but they're compression cubes. I would say I was a non-believer for the longest time, but being that we travel in carry-on only, and we were going on a 10-day trip, I needed to squeeze some more room into my suitcase. So I got some packing cubes just to test out the theory. And as you can see here, I'm a believer. It saved me so much extra room so that I could pack everything I needed, and I didn't even have to do laundry during the whole trip. One caveat to that, though, is if you have bad shoulders or you can't lift things, my suitcase was heavier than usual. So that's something to take into consideration if you don't have anyone to lift that into the overhead for you. And a second piece to that would be make sure you weigh your suitcase, either using a hand scale to weigh it or even just your regular person scale. Make sure that that's under the weight limit for the airline that you're flying with. The flight attendants cannot help you do that. They no longer are able to help you do that for their safety, because we can't have them lifting that heavy bag and then they pull something and they can't do their duties for the flight. So if you don't have someone flying with you and you're not able to do it, make sure that you weigh that bag before you leave, just so you're not stuck once you get there. And then number 4 is you're going to stuff all of those nooks and crannies so that you don't leave any space. That would be socks in the sneakers, which I'm sure we all know about by now. Belts you can even wind up and put in your sneakers or into the side pockets that are unfilled in your suitcase. With packing cubes, you don't have as much open space. I would suggest putting those packing cubes along the flat side of the suitcase and then putting your toiletry bag and shoes where the spine of your handle comes out on your suitcase. Use that more for things that you can tuck things into. Belts, hats, shoes I put on that side, toiletry bags I put on that side, and things that I can kind of mold. Scarves, all of those things is you kind of nudge into the corners and those open spaces on that opposite side of your suitcase, and you can get plenty more in. Number 5 isn't a way to pack per se, but it has saved me on many trips. Make sure you include a gallon size bag, a quart size bag every trip. A gallon size bag, that is for anything that doesn't have time to dry and you got to pack up and get going. Swimsuits, if you get caught in a rainstorm, sometimes if your shoes are extra muddy and they won't work in the shower cap tip that I gave, put them in here. Gets everything safely without ruining everything else in your suitcase. The quart size bag is for international travel. So I always pack in my see-through toiletry bag, which is never a problem here. We were returning from London and I had my toiletry bag, but security said I had to have it in exactly a quart size bag. So thankfully someone in line saved me and I had to transfer everything out of this into this and make sure that everything could fit in there and comply with their security requirements. Now I not only carry one, I carry 2 to pay it forward in case that happens to someone else. I have mine, and then I have someone saved if they need one. If any of these tips made you smile, made you think, thought, oh, never thought of that, please consider hitting the like button. And every week I post a new video, so hit that subscribe button and be notified when that new video posts. Happy travels. When I are on a nudge